Hey guys, so I'm just doing a quick video on this JP Enterprises reduced weight fire control spring set because this is a super cheap upgrade for your mil-spec triggers and your AR-15s, and in my opinion for 10 bucks you cannot do any better. And I'm going to show you how to replace the springs after we pull the trigger out, and once the trigger is out I'm going to tell you where to polish and how you want to go about that, because that's going to make a big difference. So first off, you can buy this, go on Midway USA. They have all the different kinds. There's the enhanced reliability. It's basically your hammer spring is going to be a little bit tighter, so you're not getting any light primer strikes. So I have one of these here. I have a lower over here that has the regular one in it, and I'm gonna show you the weight on that one. So here's your instructions. Basically where all the arrows are, that's where you're gonna wanna grease, and that's also where we're gonna wanna polish on the trigger, because that is where it's gonna be metal on metal. So here we go. Give you 3 springs. You got your hammer spring, your trigger spring, and then a little small spring basically brings it up. So make sure you don't lose that one. I got a little magnetic tray here. So yeah, first things first, we're gonna compare, get it before and after. So nothing in there, it's on fire. I don't have one of those fancy trigger weight test deals, but I do get a fish scale. So we're gonna try and do that. I'm gonna move this over, do a couple of these, get an average. I'll read it off as I'm going because it does not hold. So we're at 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds, 5.4, 5.7, about 6 pounds, 6.3, 6.5. Damn, okay. That was 6.5 pounds, topped out on that one. We're gonna do that one more time because that seems pretty high. I was doing this before, it was not getting that high. 5.5, I went a little bit faster on that one. We'll do one more. Is that 5.5, 5.7, 6 again. Okay. Come on. Damn. Okay, 6.7 on that one. Just so you know, it's not the scale. I'll bring in my other lower here. And this is the one that I have done the upgrade to and polished the trigger. So again, this has no barrel, so don't have to worry about anything. But yeah, we're gonna test this one out so you know how that one works. Right in the middle, I gotta turn this back on again. Okay, we're zeroed out. Right in the middle of the trigger, same deal, pushing same spots. 3.5. You can just tell it's so much smoother though, but we'll do it a couple more times so you get an average. .7 on that one. 3.9. 3.9. .3. We can do one more. Some of these hooks too, and obviously, you know, the bottom of your trigger, if you're pulling there, you're gonna get a lot less poundage. Got a little more leverage, so try that out. 3.3. Yeah, seeing for a mil-spec trigger, that is really good. It's really smooth. After you polish it and grease it, it's smooth. 3.5 again. Okay. Let's get that trigger out of here. For those of you that haven't done this before, these two pins hold it in. They're gonna push in one direction, so I'm gonna flip this over, kind of prop it up on something, get a punch, and you're just gonna center it up, try and get a punch that's the same size, which I currently do not have out, but this one's pretty close. So just tap a little bit, just like that, because all I'm doing with these is kind of starting them, and then I'm gonna pull my lower off here. Here we go. So do your hammer first, the higher one, as you're looking. Basically, if you apply a little bit of pressure, you should be able to just pretty much push it out, but it's not seeming to be the case here. So just tap a little bit more. Just light taps. I got a super small hammer here. Okay. And I'm pressing down on that hammer right now. Oh gosh. There you go. It's gonna be under quite a bit of tension, but we got it. So we're gonna do the next one. You can see with these pins here that the one side is not divoted. So when you put them in, you're gonna be putting that side first, and the divot will be the side that you're hitting on. And you can take your trigger out. Get you a little bit better view here. Yeah, so there you go. You do not have to take safety out. Some people do that. From my experience, you don't have to. Might make your life a little bit easier, but yeah. So here's our trigger right here and our two pins. So you can see that our trigger spring is right here and our hammer spring is right here. So now we're at the part where we're gonna take this, we're gonna go polish these faces. You can see most of them are machined down, so you have a good idea already of of where you're gonna want to polish. So yeah. Okay, I'm out in the shop now. Took off the springs from everything there, and you can see, I mentioned this before, all the machine parts, they're all chromed up, right? Well, it's still not what we want. You can see all the machining lines there, and if you take your fingernail and run it across, you can tell it's not smooth. We want it pretty much mirror finish. And the way that we're gonna do that, accomplish that, it's gonna be either starting with 1,000 grit sandpaper and working your way up all the way, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 till you get your desired outcome. Or taking, I got a file here, this is probably close to, let's say 1,200 or 1,500 grit, and this is what I'm going to start with, and then move on to a Dremel with buffing compound and buff it. And I recommend going the Dremel route if you have it. So basically, when you're doing the sandpaper or when you're doing the file, just all you're doing is taking a little bit off, not material wise, but yeah, let me take that back. You're not taking it off, you're just smoothing it out. When it comes to if your trigger isn't machine ground and it has a finish there, you're gonna take off that finish and bring it down to something shiny like this, but just make sure you're flat, and then just like that. So again, making sure I'm flat. You can do this vice versa too. Just hold your piece flat, kind of go around in circles. Again, not taking off any real material, because this is your trigger, right? You don't want to move any material. Makes it unsafe. So you can see with this one, the spots that I hit versus the machine spots. So just make it look all the same. That one's looking pretty good. We're gonna move on. So that was the front face of the trigger. Gonna move on to the top. And again, not much weight at all. Just hit it really light. This is super fine, like I said. Literally. Super fine. It's hard to see this one, and it's going to be a bitch to get at, but right there, along with right here on the back side, which that one still has a finish on, but those are going to be really difficult to get at. I just take the edge, and you're going to have to be very patient, because you basically stick this edge in there back and forth, and hit the other side back and forth. So that's what I'm gonna try doing. This face feels pretty good. And getting the buffer, getting that Dremel in there is gonna be the way to go. But yeah, that one is super tough. And that might be the best I can get it with the file, because I'm trying to make a video. I don't want to sit here all day with you guys, but you guys feel free. You can see just how fast that finish does come off, because that was not ground before. And on this little surface here, not so much that one, but the bigger one there that my file was touching right here. So again, that's a little tedious part. You can see it's machined down there. We're gonna hit that. Now we are gonna move over to our Dremel with our buffing compound. I have a variable speed one right here. I'm gonna put a little bit of compound on there. That first one's pretty good. So if you check this out, this is what we're going for, where it is pretty mirror-like and you don't see the machining lines as much. You can see a little bit of my file marks there. And you can get real perfect with that, but look at that. And we're going to do that with every single one. So yeah, you can see this one now too. And this makes a mess. You're going to have to clean off all your parts. Use like an alcohol-based blaster, spray them all down, and then re-grease. But there you go. So our trigger, the actual trigger, is done. You don't have to do the hammer face. I just do that. I don't know. But we're going to hit that. Can we get that mirror finish? We're going to try and hit this one on the inside. It's going to blow these wheels apart pretty much because any edge just makes a mess, as you can see. So be ready to clean up. So yeah, our hammer is done. I'd seen a guy on YouTube a while back. He was talking about polishing right here. And I can't tell you too much. I mean, go for it if you want to. In this instance, I might. But yeah, that's kind of do at your own will. Any other parts, I'm gonna have to hit that yet. It's basically took the finish off, hit them with quick polish. I'm gonna hit this now. And as this tip gets pretty used up, you can go and flip it around. Which that's what I'm gonna do. It's kind of nicer to have a new wheel on. And there we go. So you can see all the places I've hit on this one now. And we only have the smaller piece left. Just see the hook. The trick with that is go with the spin, put the hook into the spin, same way, you know. No, but that's pretty much all you need to hit on these triggers. All the spots that you're gonna grease pretty much, and you can go above and beyond, do a little bit extra. Look at some other videos. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Let's clean these off and get them back in and test. Off camera here, I just sprayed them down. I'll show you. Get some of this alcohol-based gun cleaner. Just give them a quick spray and wipe all the compound off. And let's get this put back together here. Yep, and now we have our paper here, and we can put the springs back on. So, just like that. The little spring might be hard to tell. One side's fatter. That's going to be on the left side here, the way I'm holding it. And the fatter part goes in. Get that tucked in there. Should not fall out. So that's our trigger. Take our hammer. Get the hammer spring. Just follow your instructions. Okay. Just like that. So now we have our old ones here, which I keep all that, put in a baggie, and we're ready to reinstall. What you're gonna go do though is get some gun grease. Do not use like grease from a gun. I know that's kind of counterintuitive, but don't use grease you'd put in Zerks. Grease Zerks, go get gun grease. I just put a little bit on my cotton swab here, or your finger, whatever you want to do. Grease gets everywhere though. Pretty much get a light coating on everything, all the shiny parts that we buffed up. So nothing crazy, just making sure everything's coated, light coating. So grab your lower. First we're gonna shimmy that trigger in. Just like that. I'm gonna reapply just a hair. And just like your picture, lay that in there. This piece sits on that spring. We'll just pop our pin in right away. So again, the side that doesn't have the divot, line up your holes, pretty much drive it in. If you want these to go a tad bit easier, put a little oil. Just like that. Get our hammer in here. And this is the one part where you gotta pay attention. So the springs sit back here, okay, just like that. Then you have to push down under spring tension, just like that, and get the holes lined up. And an easier way to do this hammer is using a punch as they call it a slave pin. So we're gonna move my camera here. So I got my holes lined up and I shoved my pin through, okay, or my punch through, and just like that. So that can hold everything together while I'm trying to film. And I'm applying a little bit of pressure with my thumb downward. And I'm just pushing that pin in. Yeah, so I ended up pulling my hammer back to line up my holes. But yeah, once that pin started, pretty much just look on the other side and tap it in once it's lined up. Use a punch. I know it's kind of difficult, even with two hands, but once it's in, make sure it's flush on both sides. So yeah, that's basically it. We're gonna test it out. I can tell you right off the bat, it feels pretty good. So I got the fish scale back over here. We're gonna put our upper back on it. This is after we polished. That's 4.5. That's 4.3. It's 4.5. And this lower here is, again, the standard. So the hammer spring in this is lighter, making it a lighter trigger pull as well. So we're getting an average of, let's say 4 or 5 in the other one. There's about 3 pounds on that one. Hit again. 3.3 and 3 pounds on that one. There, 3.3. Yeah, so as you can see, the JP Enterprises for $10 makes a little bit of difference. We're getting about 4.5 pounds on our lower after we polished, opposed to the 6.5, 6 pound before. So a couple pounds off. Had gotten a couple 3 pounds, so I'd say it's worth every penny of $10 instead of buying $100 triggers, $200 triggers. But you're not getting everything that they offer, but it's a good little quick fix. When you do all of this for yourself, you're gonna find out that it does make your trigger a lot smoother, and it's kind of the upside to all of that polishing. So get out there and try it. Tell me what you think in the comments.